All right, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the top 6 reasons why you or someone would be continuously unlucky. So let's get into it. Okay, so when I talk about being unlucky, I mean the kind of unlucky where things go wrong all the time. Much like it does to Larry David in the show Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David is the co-creator of Seinfeld, of which the character George Costanza is based upon. Well, in his HBO show Curb Your Enthusiasm, the most ridiculous things happen to him on a consistent basis. That is really the entire premise of the show. And these things happen to him for a multitude of reasons. Many times he's not able to let things go, and he keeps going on about something instead of dropping it. Or people will blame him for something even though it's not entirely his fault. And he's just really unlucky. In fact, there was one episode where he accidentally tripped Shaq on the basketball court from sitting in the front row with his legs sticking out, which caused Shaq to injure his knee, and he was going to be out for 2 months. Well, the entire city blamed him for that, because they saw him on the news and in the replays, and so everybody hated him and wanted nothing to do with him, which then made his luck actually turn around, and things started going his way, because the people that had asked him to do something for them, even though he didn't want to do it, they canceled because they didn't want anything to do with him, and everybody was just leaving him alone, because many of his problems come from other people. But that only lasted a while because many of them come from bad luck, and soon his bad luck returned, because otherwise the show would be over. If it wasn't for the bad luck of Larry, you would have nothing to laugh at. Now, I recently got caught up with season 10 when I was ill and could do nothing but lay about and watch TV. And it got me thinking about this because I could relate to Larry because I used to be just as unlucky. I used to have the most ridiculous things happen to me. The worst luck to where the most for sure things would still fail. And once I figured out the reasons, then I was able to do something about it. But I have friends who are just as bad. I told you about the one where the most ridiculous things happened to my one friend all the time. I mean, you know it's a problem when things are expected to go wrong. And unfortunately, those friends don't want to hear it. You can't help somebody who isn't ready to be helped. Even though they've seen you change your own life around, they're still blind to the evidence. But you don't have to be. So let's get into the top 6 reasons why someone would be so continuously unlucky. Starting with number 6. You're paying off a karmic debt, or you still have lessons to learn. Sometimes the things that happen to us are because of us. Perhaps you've done something in the past that now the bill has come due, or you've been refusing to learn a life lesson that is being continuously taught to you. In either case, you need to do better. And you may not even be able to think of anything that you've done in this life. It is said that karmic debt can transcend lifetimes. You may be paying off something from a past life for something that you can't even remember. There's really not a whole lot you can do about the karma bill that you've been given other than to be a better person. If you keep being a jerk and continue doing terrible things, it's only going to make things worse. The good news is once the debt's paid off, then you'll be free and clear. The 5th top reason you may be ridiculously unlucky. You're under attack. Someone who is magically inclined has it out for you, and they are doing their best to make your life miserable. Now, how likely this is going to depend on how many people you know who do magic. But even if you don't know anyone else who does magic, that doesn't mean that someone isn't out to get you. They could just be doing magic and nobody knows about it. They keep it hidden and secret, as a lot of people do. So if you know a lot of people who are doing magic, then the probability goes up. But if you don't know anybody at all, understand that the possibility is not reduced to 0. It's less likely, but not completely out of the question. Now, if you do suspect that you're under attack, then that is what my protection and defense program is geared towards. Number 4, the 4th top reason that you have consistently terrible luck is that you're crossed up. Now, you could say that this one could tie in with the previous one, number 5, in that someone could magically attack you in order to deliberately cross you up. However, not all crossed conditions are the result of an attack or someone purposely trying to harm you. One can get crossed up in a variety of ways, either by getting on the wrong side of spirits, wandering into a sacred site without knowing it. You might anger a nature spirit just by mowing the lawn. There are low-level curses that can also accumulate, such as the evil eye, that people can cast without even knowing that they're doing it out of jealousy and envy, which can accumulate and manifest itself as a crossed condition. There are a number of ways that someone can be crossed. The important thing is knowing what to do about it. And I have a video that talks about uncrossing yourself, and I will leave a link to it here. By the way, if you'd like to support my work here on YouTube, you can click the thanks button and tip me with what's known as a super thanks, a feature that YouTube recently implemented that's like a super chat, except that it's for comments on YouTube videos. So when you leave a tip, your comment would be highlighted just like it would with a super chat in a live stream. It's a much welcome addition to support the channel, especially after the loss of fan funding which YouTube removed a few years prior. So if you'd like to support my work, clicking the thanks button is the way to do it. The third reason that you have terrible luck on a daily basis is you have terrible planetary transits. Those who are well versed in astrology and reading astrological charts have an advantage here. When things begin to go wrong and start to show a pattern of going wrong, such as 2 or 3 things going wrong in a row, one of the first things I'll do is check my planetary transits. Because plenty of times it's not going to be somebody attacking you. It's not going to be that you're crossed up. It's going to be that you're experiencing a planetary transit. And some of these transits can last a while. It depends on which planets are transiting. And for those who know their correspondences, when the things that are going wrong correspond with the planets that are transiting, then you can figure out how long it's going to last, depending upon the planets involved. Now, I always recommend that everybody learn astrology because it's going to help you in the long run, but you don't need to learn astrology to protect yourself from bad transits. You can help diminish the effects of transits by practicing the banishing ritual of the hexagram, which I'm not going to do here, but can easily be found online. The second reason that you're incredibly unlucky and have terrible things happen to you are thought forms. Thought forms are a type of thought that has taken form. By having put so much energy and belief into them, they've become sort of a type of programming. And the thought form just runs its program over and over again, resulting in the type of terrible luck that you have. Now, I have talked about thought forms and this type of subconscious programming in the past before, in both my Words of Power program and in the Thought Forms and Servitors program. Now, Words of Power is going to show you how to eliminate the negative thought forms, and Thought Forms and Servitors is going to show you how to create positive thought forms that work for you instead of against you. Both are going to help you out when it comes to thought forms. It's number 2 on the list because most people have issues with thought forms, and even worse, don't even realize it. They just call it bad luck, when it's really the result of a thought form program being run over and over again that gives them a negative result in similar circumstances. And the only real way to get a handle on thought forms is to eliminate the negative ones and purposefully create positive ones that work for you instead of against you. Thought Forms and Servitors is the program that's going to bring you from having to do magic all the time for your results to putting your magic on autopilot for constant success. When you master this program, it's like having your own little army of helpers to do things for you, and fully programmable to do your bidding. We're going to talk about the differences between thought forms, egregores, and servitors, how to avoid accidentally creating thought forms that work against you, breaking looping patterns of thought, and how your thoughts produce your results, a ritual to call upon your ancestors for assistance, how to do the sign of the Emperor and the sign of silence, how to properly plan your servitors, and a step-by-step guide in creating them. And that's just some of what's included in the program. Thought Forms and Servitors is an MP3 format with a running time of 94 minutes. So if you want to put your magic on autopilot and see constant results, Thought Forms and Servitors is the program for you. You can get Thought Forms and Servitors and other Mind and Magic programs over at mindandmagic.com today. All right, and the number one reason that you have the worst luck in the world is that you're not doing anything about it. You have to do something about it. Just knowing that you have bad luck and sitting around doing nothing isn't going to change things. Trust me, I know. I knew firsthand that when the worst luck would happen to me, that something was wrong, that it wasn't normal, and that it would continue because at the time I didn't think I could do anything about it. That's the biggest lie of bad luck, is that you can't do anything about it, that it's just random. But you can do something about it. But nothing is going to change until you do. Whether it is somebody attacking you or a cross condition, a thought form, or a transit. None of these get better on their own. Nothing changes until you take action, including magic, especially magic. Because magic is to make your life better, to interface with the subconscious to help turn some of these thought forms around, to deliberately manifest the good in your life instead of just relying on random chance to do it for you, of which if you have any of these problems, then not much good is going to come your way. So you have to be proactive. You need to take action in order for things to improve. Now, the action you need to take is going to depend on what the actual cause is. You may have to do several things. You may have negative thought forms and be crossed up. Now, typically, the worse your quote-unquote luck is, the more work you're going to have to do. But it needs to be done in order to get back to some sort of normalcy in your life for those who are suffering with this. So those are the top 6 reasons that you seem to be unlucky. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and share it if you did. It may help others in need find the video. Follow me on social media. The URLs will be on the screen momentarily, and I will see you next time. Take care.